There was a time when you could stroll into the action section of your local video store and stumble across a film you'd never heard of, something that looked like a generic, no-frills potboiler. Welcome back to famous movie Spy, but the box art shouted out big, bold last names. Famous ones you recognized from action movie glory days. That was often enough to make you take a chance, only to discover at home that the film was just as bland as it seemed, and those big names were actually lesser-known relatives of the icons. Think Mike Norris, Frank Stallone, or Shim Bronson riding on their family's coattails. If you've ever fallen for that trick, Alarum will feel like deja vu, only with two modern twists, one mildly reassuring, the other downright awkward. On the upside, with streaming now the norm, you don't have to suffer the added insult of a late fee. On the downside, while the Eastwood teased in bold lettering is indeed Clint's son, Scott, the Stallone is actually Sylvester himself, doing things he likely won't be bragging about anytime soon. Scott Eastwood and Willa Fitzgerald star as Joe and Lara, a pair of government spies who fell in love on a mission, went rogue, and got married. We catch up with them 5 years later in Poland, seemingly on vacation, when a plane crashes in the woods near their resort. Joe investigates the wreckage and stumbles upon a mysterious flash drive, don't ask how, and quickly finds himself pursued by two hostile groups. One, a crew of mercenaries led by the menacing Oren, Mike Halter, and the other, agents from his old agency who now suspect he's joined Alarum, a secret organization bent on dismantling global intelligence networks. Meanwhile, Lara, who has joined Alarum, must fight her own battles as they both try to survive and reunite. Enter Chester, Sylvester Stallone, an old colleague sent to eliminate Joe, who instead decides to lend a hand and blow things up along the way. At least, that's the gist. Truthfully, the film is so messy and half-heartedly told that even minutes after watching, the details already feel fuzzy. The script, by Alexander Vesha, is a strange mix of convoluted and painfully predictable, a jumble of cliches posing as a plot. Even the action sequences, which could have salvaged some entertainment value, are poorly executed and saddled with cheap-looking CGI, especially the consistently awful gunfire effects that as for the cast, Eastwood and Fitzgerald are given virtually nothing to work with, an especially unfortunate case for Fitzgerald, fresh off her standout performance in last year's clever thriller Strange Darling. And Stallone, his appearance will probably be the only reason some viewers check this out, but it's a sad sight. Watching a legend like him sleepwalk through such tired material for an easy paycheck is disheartening, evoking memories of Bruce Willis's late career decline into bargain bin action roles. Not coincidentally, one of Alarum's producers has plenty of those Willis movies on their resume. The only real shock comes during the opening credits. The director is Michael Polish. Yes, the same Polish who once made uniquely strange and beautiful indie films like The Superb North Fork. Back then, he was a filmmaker with a vision, clear, distinct, and wholly original. But in today's industry, where such qualities are often sidelined, he's been reduced to churning out formulaic projects, recently teaming up with controversial figures like Mel Gibson and Gina Carano. If Alarum had been the work of a newcomer or a hack for hire, its many flaws might be forgivable. But coming from someone who once showed such potential, it's not just a forgettable misfire, it's a genuinely disheartening one.